Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. Glad you all could be with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. We're about to bring in our friends over on Instagram as well, so they can be a part of the party. And also our friends on Amazon Live have a returning guest. She hasn't been with us in a while, so I'm excited about our guest for today. Let's go ahead and bring in our audience over on Amazon Live, and we're going to reacquaint some of you, but also introduce to others our guest for today. And we're now live on Amazon Live for Cyrus Webb Presents. So glad you guys could be with us. If you guys are new to us on the Amazon platform, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button either here in this corner or down below. You also will see some of the books by our next guest. We're excited to welcome back best-selling author, media personality, as well as editor-in-chief, Chanelle Coleman Wesley. I want to talk to her about a very busy 2025. Got a chance to meet Chanelle for the first time this year in Atlanta. We'll talk a little bit about that, but also let you guys know about the great projects she's bringing to you guys as well. If you guys have any questions or comments for Chanelle, make sure you guys put those in the chat for us. Red Zoom, hello to you over there on IG. Chanelle, welcome back to the broadcast.
Hi, Cyrus. I'm so excited to be back. Thank you for having me.
Look, it's my pleasure. So, Chanelle, I should let our audience know we met for the very first time this year,
Yeah.
which was a great experience at a great event that our mutual friend Kate Thurman had for her nonprofit. But you've had a very busy year, as I've mentioned. You have some projects we're going to be talking about. But what has it been like for you to kind of catch your breath and think about this year so far?
It's definitely been a whirlwind year. Definitely enjoy finally meeting you in the flesh. And so, guys, he's a real live person, I promise you. And it's just a great opportunity to be able to connect with someone who I truly respect and admire. It's just been amazing. And the things that I'm doing this year, I'm just thankful that God is just truly enlarging my territory, connecting with so many
Yeah.
amazing people and organizations. And I'm just excited about what 2025 holds.
Yeah, and part of what I thought about with your segment today, Chanelle, is that of course we know you from the books like this one. She said yes to herself unapologetically. Also, I have here with us Naked and Not Ashamed. You actually have the print edition of one of the books in the carousel. I'm going to highlight it for you guys over on Amazon. So, Chanelle, if you can hold it up for them, because that is the newest project, the Empower Her Blueprint. There, you guys can see it in print. The Kindle edition right now is only 99 cents here on Amazon. Talk to us about that experience for you, Chanelle. You're a motivational speaker. I didn't mention that. Also, as I mentioned, you've been able to write these books. What has it been like for you to share not only your journey, but also to empower people along the way?
Cyrus, I think that that's the most rewarding aspect of it. You know, what you do, you want it to be something that's going to be transformative for someone else.
Hmm.
In life, when you go through your own fires and you finally get out of the fire and out of the smoke, you want to be able to go back in and help someone else to get their way outside the fire as well. So that's something that just makes life more fulfilling, more rewarding to be able to know that you were a help to someone else.
Yeah, such a great thing. So, when did you know that you could be of value and help to others? And I ask this question, Chanelle, because unfortunately, we live in a world where some people have been told what they are not and what
Mm.
they cannot do. When did you realize that you had value and your life had value?
I want to say early on because even as a child, especially I was very faith focused. We pray a lot in church and just talk a lot, just not afraid to get up there and talk. And people would always say, God has something very special for you to do, Chanelle. And I never knew what that something special, specifically was, but I knew it had something to do with me speaking because when
Mhm.
I would say something, people would in turn say that thing. So I just didn't know what it was particularly that I was supposed to
Right,
be saying, but I
right.
understood that when I speak, that it provoked a reaction, and that was what did it. Me speaking.
Mhm. Right. And now here you are, many books later, you've been able to do speaking engagements. You have, as I mentioned, your own radio show and podcast. And now, as I mentioned in my introduction, now editor in chief of your own magazine. We get into that. Do you still have those wow moments, Chanelle, when you think about how what began as a dream has become a reality?
Cyrus, yes. It's funny, I reshared a memory that I had, 3 years ago when I did, first, self-publish my book, and it was like it seems like it was like such a long time ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. It was only 3 years ago. And it's like, wow, look what's happened, in that amount of time. And even, with the magazine, around that same time, I had that same thought process. Okay, I want to do this thing. and you're putting all this work and emphasis into it, and you really don't know how it's going to turn out until you see it.
Right.
And so you're hoping against hope that all the things are going to fit together. And I actually got a chance to get a proof of the magazine, and she looks amazing. And it's such a like a rewarding moment to know that everything that I was working towards is, panning off, and it's exactly what it was supposed to be. So it just teaches you to trust your instincts when God gives you that call and gives you that fire. Not to always second doubt, because sometimes you can second guess yourself and you can talk yourself out of seats that God's positioned you for, but you'll be deferring to everything else. And so I'm just excited about this path that I'm on.
Yeah, as you should be. Hello to you, Wendy Arcad. Good to be able to see you over there on Facebook. Glad you can join us. See you guys over there on YouTube as well. If you guys have a question or comment for Chanelle, make sure you guys put those in the chat as well. You guys on Amazon. So I want to talk about the tribe. I thought about you earlier today, Chanelle. I was having a conversation with a mutual friend of ours, Earl Hall, and he had sent me a clip, and it reminded me of something I was saying to Earl today, of that Iyanla Van Zant said to Oprah Winfrey, and that was about people want to always talk about, about their cup being full, but also about the overflow.
Yeah.
And one thing that Iyanla said to Oprah is that what's in the cup is for her. The
Yes.
overflow is for everyone else. However, we both know, Chanelle, that some people, I'm just saying some people, some people try to pour out what's in the cup, and don't leave as much. I'm just saying this is, I'm just saying this is what happens with some people.
Okay.
How important has it been for you, Chanelle, though? Because you're not one of those people.
You know what? I would say this. Sometimes with people, when I say things, I think they could take them to heart or not. But
Yeah.
I think that this is why everybody needs a Cyrus. Because there are people in your journey who are at a different vantage point and can see things from a different perspective. And sometimes it's hard to be able to see what they're trying to tell you. And it's only because you haven't reached that point yet for you to be able to truly see what they're saying. And so I've had so many moments where it's like, yeah, this is what Cyrus was saying. This is exactly what he meant when he said it. And it's important for people when you're growing your brand, when you're growing your business, your tribe, all of those different things. You do need people who are going to be able to challenge you, to be able to hold your feet to the fire, to kind of hold you accountable. And I'm thankful that God gifted that to me in you, by having someone who has the expertise, the professionalism, and the tact to be able to see things, and not just to see them, but to give me those insights to say, okay, hey, Chanelle, you might want to look at this thing here. And the things that you are saying are true. Now, does that mean you're going to always like what someone is saying to you? No, it's just like medicine.
Really?
You have to take it so you'll feel better. And but it makes you a better person. It makes you a more qualified and more capable professional. So everything that I've gotten from you, whether it's been from our direct interactions as client and you talking to me in our one-on-ones, or whether it's been in a teaching session when we're in a class, or just conversation where you're passing along those nuggets, each of those things have been for a specific point in your journey. And it's just like when you don't learn the point and the principle, then you repeat it until you get it. And so it just kind of reinforces that in your mind. So I would definitely say when people are trying to elevate and do different things, then you need a mentor, you need a PR person, you need someone who's going to be able to help to position you in a space that you can't even see yourself in. And that's what you've been to me. Now, I don't know how many spots you have available. It's only a couple. And I can't say that they can get my publicist and my friend Cyrus. But while he has spaces available, then they should definitely get themselves one, because it's been something that's been a game changer for me and for my brand, which is why I put my publicist and my friend on the back of my book, because I just trust your instincts. I have grown so much from our time together, and I'm looking forward to what's next.
Well, Chanelle, was not expecting that, so I appreciate that. Dr. Velma says hello, but then she also says the finger in your back strategy. That's what she calls.
That little push that you need.
I'm just here to help. But no, it is an important point. So I do want to reiterate that. Chanelle, for the audience. So, I mean, how important has it been for you to make sure that your cup stays full?
It's important. It's because you can only give what you have, and as a as a child, the first time I was on the plane, I think I was 13 years old when the stewardess said, put your mask on first, and then I'm thinking that's the most selfish thing you could say. Why would you say that? Well, why would I do that?
Mhm.
And life has taught me through circumstances, situations, and trials that if I don't put mine on first, I will be unable to help you. I can't give you what you need because I first don't have what I need, and in motherhood, God designs your body to be able to take from the mom to give to the baby what the baby needs. So I understand that. But that means you'll have deficiencies if you don't put those things and replenish what was taken out. You'll be lopsided. So in
Mm.
anything that you're giving to especially as a woman, your instinct is to nurture and to put all of this into this being that you're growing, whether it's a company, whether it's a business, whether it's a brand, a relationship. But a lot of times those things end up being lopsided. And then sometimes you may have some resentment in some areas because you're thinking, well, I put all this stuff in you and I didn't put, but that's our own fault. You have to take control of your own narratives. And so that's why I said I definitely appreciate what you've brought to the table, because those things have pushed me and challenged me to become a better individual and a better businesswoman. And I see things differently from those conversations because those are insights you're giving me, those tips, those tricks, those strategies. Because even people who coach and help others, we need direction and coaching, and sometimes too.
Yeah, and I do too. And I tell people in my circle who I lean on the same thing. Hey, tell me if you see a blind spot. If you, I think that's the thing. I think for one to approach situations, Chanelle, without ego and to think that I have
Mm-hmm.
all the answers and I'm
Mm-hmm.
always going to make the right decision. I mean, I know myself well enough to know that's not true.
Yes.
So I have people in my circle that I lean on and say, hey, you have any advice for me on this? Anything you see that maybe I need to do a little different, or and so
Mm-hmm.
you have to then be open to that too, as I
True.
try to be for those who work with me. So we both have referenced the magazine. Talk to us about Hustle Her and how it all came about.
Well, I'm excited. Initially, when I was first wanting to do a magazine, I wanted it to be something specific to authors. At the time, we had a group called Black Women Authors, and that's really kind of what I wanted the magazine at the time to feature, specifically authors, and to be a resource for authors because I am an author.
Hmm.
Black authors in particular, women, female, those who were in the Christian spirit, because that's what I was in, and I was wanting to be able to network and to grow that. And then that kind of morphed into community and empowerment and providing tips, tools, and strategies for women in business, those who are both career professionals, those who are entrepreneurial minded, people who are looking to level up and to grow. Also to provide a sense of sisterhood and camaraderie, a tribe, a place where you feel seen, valued, appreciated. And so as I thought about that, I'm thinking, okay, and I'm thinking about what we do in life as women, and what I know women do is we hustle. We are working. We're working the home, we're working the family, we're working the business, we're working the brand, we're working all of those different things. It's because, grind is God, goals, and grind. And that's what I know. And so I thought about, what that means to me and what that resonates for. I know a lot of Black women who are in similar situations as myself.
Hmm.
And so it came to be Hustle Her magazine. And so it's a definite space for Black women of faith to feel unapologetic, to know, to look good, to feel some good camaraderie, some good claps on the backs, but also a sister who will help to hold you accountable, put that feet to the fire and say, look, we got areas in which we need to grow, and let's go. And so that's really what Hustle Her magazine is all about. It's about providing that voice for her.
Mhm. How has it been for you, or what has that been like for you, Chanelle, to know that you've been able to take what you have learned and now to be in a place where you can be able to, through the magazine, through your books, through your own talk show, to provide a platform to help serve others?
It's so rewarding, Cyrus. I want to say you grow and you learn so much from the power of stories. Stories are something that transcend language barriers, economic classes, all those things. The story can just translate in so many different ways. And so being able to be a person that gives a microphone and a space for people to tell their stories. It's something that's powerful and impactful to me. Just knowing that I've come from an area of being a survivor of sexual abuse in a time where I felt like I couldn't share my story because of the way people responded to me telling my story. And now to being able to be a person that provides a space where people can tell their stories is something that's just been so just fulfilling and brings me to a full circle moment. So for a moment where I felt like I couldn't tell my story, where now I'm empowering others to be able to share their stories, is something that I'm just so touched and so blessed to be able to do.
Yeah, and it's been great watching you and doing it, Chanelle. And one thing I have to say about you, and I've said it even before you and I met, is that you are a very giving person. But again, as we talked about with that cup, as I've said to everyone, myself included, making sure that our cup stays full so we can be of best service is always the key. So, what do you say to people about the balance, Chanelle? Because it's not easy to find that balance when you get so into it. I've experienced this myself. You're so into what you're doing and who you're trying to help and what you're trying to do. How do you find that balance, and what advice do you have for others, and particularly your audience with women, about finding that balance, or their own personal balance in doing that?
I think it's important having people around you who keep you focused on what's important. My children are that for me. They're my touch point. They let me know when I'm doing too much.
Mm.
My 10-year-old Taraja, she was like, "Mom, you take work too seriously. Like you take." And I had to look at that and I said, "You're right. I'm definitely taking work too seriously because she can see me doing all the things." And she's like, "Yeah, you're taking
Mm.
this too seriously, Mom." And I was like, "You know what? I need to lighten up. So okay, let me disconnect from all of this. Let me focus on you guys. What do we want to do?" And they keep me grounded. They keep me whole and say, "Hey, pay attention over here." And
Yeah.
I need that, and I appreciate them because, like I said, they're vocal and they'll let me know when I'm going too far, and they're able to reel me in because they know how I am when I'm passionate about
Yeah.
something. So they're able to keep me in. So definitely doing that, and just me being more intentional about setting those spaces and carving out time for family and for myself as well.
Mhm. Here we are now in the fourth month of the year already. Chanelle, it
Yeah.
is all moving so quickly. As we're going throughout the month of April, though, what should we be on the lookout for from you and from your brand?
I'm excited. So they should definitely look for the print version of this amazing book right here called The Empower Her Blueprint: Empowerment Strategies for Women of Faith on the Rise. This book is going to be coming to Amazon very shortly. There's some proof, and it's to be out before the end of the month. I'm excited about an in-person empowerment event that we're having for our community. It's entitled She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically Presents Crown on Queens, Mommy and Me edition. So it's for daughters and moms, children ages 10 to 17 years of age. This is going to be a day of empowerment, a day of encouragement, a day of where we kind of help our sisters see their importance, see their worth, see their identity, to be able to be provided with some tangible tips, tools, and strategies. We have such an amazing community of workers who are coming along with us: Homer Blow and Blow Productions, Oasis Lounge, I Am Free. I hate to try to name everybody because then you're going to miss somebody. Well Care is helping us. We recently had Brittany Draper, and Tasty Bees is going to be our caterer for the day. We have a new person who's helping us with both our decor, and I hate that I think it's called House of Designs. I got to make sure I'm going to put it in the chat. We just talked about this yesterday, so we just
Gotcha.
recently closed. So I'll make sure I'll put that in chat. But she's amazing. All of these different organizations said, okay, hey, let's see what we can do to lend a hand to be able to be intentional, because we're losing our youth. And of course, the phenomenal Dr. Velma Bagby, she's going to be giving some amazing links off to the young girls and moms, 50 of our first 50 girls and 50 moms, some books to be able to be a resource for them for free. So I really appreciate those who have sponsored, who are intentional about shaping our next generation, because the children are our future. And so what we put into them is going to say a lot about what we get out of them in this next generation. So we want to be able to be part of the solution versus being part of the problem.
Yeah. All right. Looking forward to that. So, Chanelle, let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you and keep up with what's coming up?
Absolutely. Well, Cyrus, again, thank you so very much for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to
Same
be in
here.
this space with you. Again, if you guys are looking for a PR person, someone who's going to be able to help you to transition your business and your brand, then I would suggest you hurry up and talk to my publicist and friend, Cyrus Webb, while he has positions available, because those will be going quickly, quickly, quickly. People can follow me and connect with me at Chanelle Coleman Wesley. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also, well, X and LinkedIn. And if people are interested in helping to sponsor this dynamic event for youth, right, in moms over here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, then they can connect me with me directly. They can send some information to me on Messenger, or she said yes to herself at gmail.com. We would definitely love to be able to have some additional sponsors and partners.
Love that. Chanelle, congratulations again. Great catching
Thank
up
you,
with you.
Cyrus.
Looking forward to our next chat together.
Me too. Thank you so much, Cyrus.
And more than welcome. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.